Hello everybody, welcome to the Windrunner channel. And we are here for another guide on our M2 guide. This time we'll be doing Shiva, solo run, basically solo achievement. And this is the theme I'll be using for Shiva, right? So this guide is made, if you haven't seen the Grimnir guide, this guide was made so that you guys will be able to clear the first requirement for a newbie player. Okay, I'm pretty sure most people probably can try it out with M1 and probably defeat it, but M1 have a lower HP most of the time, so it means that at the end it might be a bit sketchy. But if not, you can actually use an M1 grid. More than likely, you just need to make sure you have the characters when you're using M1, as you want that HP amount, right, for most of these M2 raids for solo, right? Because you only have a green two green pots and one blue pot, and pretty much any natural healing you can get from the skills. So that is why it's of very high importance that you have a firm HP amount. So for water, there is this thing called Oberon's, which is a M1.5. It's not hard to get, in my opinion. It's relatively accessible, provided you can actually do the raid or you can do Arcade. If not, actually this one you probably might have to trade it, which isn't the worst thing. If you're doing your grinds weekly, you should have at least 1k per week. You should be able to trade at least one of this, and then just slowly get it out of the way. Operons are used very often in Magna. I don't think they fully receive out Magnas. Most people still using the three three Operons and two ancestral renders. So basically, if you haven't farmed them, you should consider farming it, because the crit and crit supplemental is a very nice synergy basically. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not using a script this time. I'm also using something. It's just based on what is my thought process and how I created the team. So basically it's the same as the Grimnir guide. If you haven't watched the Grimnir guide, please do go watch it. Yes. Okay, so firstly, I'm also reverting it for Leviathan, because I'm using Magna as a base. I'm not using Primal or like cheap Primal, which is basically cheap Primal means it's like you're using primal version of farmable weapons. Usually they are okay. The 10% boost could help you, but it's not a significant amount. So I just decided to use something like just revert back to the Leviathan build, because I feel that it's a more accurate depiction of how a Magna player would be at this point, right? Stuff I use, I try to not get the endgame items in. So basically stuff that I have is a Seraphic modifier 1 for the water. I have a few Oberons, two M2s, Tyrus Zither. I don't expect you to get like Shiva done just as you start M2 to get the skippable function. That's not gonna happen. You're still gonna do 100 raids, just bare minimum, just to get your items built up. So this kind of items, probably 100 raids is probably enough to get at least 2 of them to this tier, which is 4-star and cap. It's legit possible, as long as you boost your drop rate and make sure you do all you can. By the time you're around this area, you should be self-sufficient in your golden pendants. If you need it to address your lack of drops, you can use those. Though I would recommend that at the start, your golden pendant is not going to be used easily, because you're going to be rank capped a lot. So your rank, whatever you're allowed to buy at the rank, isn't as high priority, in my opinion. But it's just to make sure you know that there are alternatives aside from farming. If you're very lazy, over time you can just trade it in and then uncap it. It's a lazy man method, but it's also doable. But you still need to do 100 to do the skip, to clear the skip requirement basically. So yeah, Baha Dagger that we're using here is based on all our guides. We have always been using Baha Dagger. You can obviously have any other Baha in here basically, but I'm using more for the humans and Aruns, right? I don't think, yeah, it's humans, is it human? It's unknown. this is true hardware, but I mean, if you should try to link it best to what you have on your team, basically. Like, so for me, I have 2 humans, which is ideally better if you switch to other like Bahamut base weapon type. But I'm just using this because this is always like the one that I recommend in the guides, and it's true that it is something that most people should have if they have been watching guides. It's genuinely the case. For our Opus substitute, we have draconic weapons. Most people before this current update actually don't build draconic and don't recommend draconic. I say screw that. If you're doing Guild War, you're gonna do endgame content. Draconic is actually sometimes much help needed, basically kind of weapon. Basically, it just does a lot of damage reduction. It is really good, and it has naturally progressive, and also have the basically whatever key you put here can change it into primal, or you can change it into magna, basically. So those 3 very important. And that's the reason why I use draconic. And also it's very accessible. You don't need to fight some hard boss. It's just hard farming of I believe the 6 dragon itself, as well as this guy. What's it called? Lindworm. Yes. So basically it's just hard farming of this guy to get the drops, these fragments, the true golden dragon skills to unlock those. You just need a lot of them to get break even, basically. And to craft it, yeah, not a difficult weapon, and it's pretty good for newcomers, especially when you don't have the HP, you need a lot of like damage reduction. This is a good one. For main hand, I'm using the Xeno staff, which is now in the special section. Yeah, the special section right now has all the Xeno event, used to be Xeno event. You basically farm all your clashes and all your showdowns here. You just do all the clashes, I think, and you should be able to get all your Xeno weapons. And that is what you need for one of this. Basically, I feel like these are good main hand weapons. Honestly speaking, you can actually use any other thing. This one, it's pretty down there, I guess. Not the best. As I was using this weapon, I felt that it can be replaced. If you can find a better staff, obviously you can replace it, because or dagger, it's more than likely it's doable with it. The only reason why I use it this way is because I have more charge bar, more healing, remove debuff, some additional healing, and some damage. That's just all. A good alternative can be, obviously you have Opus, you can use Opus, but then you have to switch out Draconic. If you did Enid, you can actually use this. It's not bad. You can shield effect and mirror image, and you also supplement the damage, which is something which, if you have been farming with other people, this drops quite often. Shouldn't be the worst. I recommend this one a bit more, Winter Frost Nut, so that you can get 100% crit. I don't recommend the Gaze of Mega. It's quite useless. Obviously, as an M1 weapon, if you're using M1, sure, go ahead, full M1 grid, yeah, go ahead. But if you're not, one of this might help, might not really be, but the main charge attack is quite trash. Reflection doesn't do much in the grand scheme of things, so use as when you see fit, basically. We also do have this, which is not very useful at this point in time. This is taken from, I believe, Love Life, one of the Love Life events. Yeah, so those are all like the stuff I have for this particular class. I didn't go with other classes. I couldn't find a specific well-rounded class, I think, that could do this comfortably from what I feel is comfortable for full auto. Obviously, if you're doing manual, you can always use Spartan, you can always use a few other neat tweaks to accelerate it, but for full auto, this is what I've been doing. I have Lily to ensure I'm sustained and healed up and damage negated, and also she does a lot of debuff and a lot of other stuff. Very neat and gritty. And she also bounces herself as well, so she's really all-rounder, very good for early game because of the damage card. The fire damage card she provides, pretty good. Next one is Kupitan. If you do not have Kupitan, any DPS over here would be fine. But the thing is, right, because she doesn't act as a single just DPS, she also heals, I believe, the allies. I believe she does have ability to heal the allies, so she is in somewhere around here. So basically she can heal, so that's the important thing. And not a lot obviously, so it's just nice to help to upkeep while still being able to do a lot of damage because she has supplement, I believe. Yeah, supplemental water ally skill damage, so this is pretty good. Especially if you're very new, supplemental skills are very broken honestly, because you're not going to be able to, it actually increases everything by, let's say if it's 30k boost, every hit 7 times 30 is like 210k, right? So basically your skills are going to hurt way higher and harder, and it's not negated by defense because it's a posting, so it's not going to get affected by the defense, not going to hit affected as much. Yes, and then we have Yodaha. For this specific case, Yodaha is also here as a DPS, but he's also here to act as a dispeller. I would recommend this to be a dispeller slot if you have it, right? So what you have is a healer slash defender. If you can get a healer slash defender, it's very good. Alternatives to this, if you're manualing, there isn't. Manualing would have to be. I think there's a Vera that is also on this element that you could use it. You can obviously, if you have Poseidon, use Poseidon. It's a grand weapon, a grand character. I didn't use any grants. But if you have grants, this is also not bad. But he is a defender, he is not a healer, so you must substitute a healer somewhere along with your kit basically. So you must know how to balance your party basically in order to strive for good unity. But if you do not have a healer, which is a bit dangerous for this raid especially, and it's not enough for this raid, I'm pretty sure. Like she's able to survive the first 95%, but the last 5% you really need a healer. If you're going full auto with N, you might be able to survive largely. However, N is a very charge bar heavy character, and that means that her utility on resetting is also very painful to deal with if you without Kengo especially. So I don't really recommend N for this specific case. Unless you use a Kengo team, then you pair with N, and then you can have a DPS or DPS healer. Whatever the case, you need to have one healer because of the last 5%. Try to anyway. I believe we have Water Juliet. Water Juliet auto heals, I believe. So she is also not bad for this specific case, but she is more manual in this case, so you might want to take note. If you're manualing, it's fine to use Juliet. Auto dispelling, Tanjiro Zenitsu for free character is gonna be pretty decent. But just don't get the damage hope up because they don't really do as much damage as you think. Tested a few times. No failures obviously, because that's because I have the HP mods and stuff like that, but it's still I would say consistent is consistent, but it's sketchy. It's sketchy. It could be like 1 out of 10 runs, 1 run might go wrong when I use Tanjiro. Obviously I didn't run 10 runs, but it's more or less like 2 to 3 runs of Tanjiro. That's how I feel. Feline, it's okay I believe. She's just there for damage. If you want to have a DPS, yes, you can go ahead. She also has supplemental boost as well, pretty good obviously if you have it. Then I don't think Lancelot is that. It's also a DPS role, so it's like you don't really need so many DPS. Like I don't think all DPS will survive. That's how scary Shiva is in terms of the last 5%. Obviously, if you can burst the last 5% like Relic Master, then obviously there's no like fear. Essentially, what you're scared of in Shiva probably should be what I have to start talking on first is that Shiva, throughout the raid, he will keep buffing himself, triple attack, high attack damage. So those are the few things that he does. His triggers on itself doesn't do that much damage. It's not that scary. 3k, 1.5k, sometimes 700 damage, not that much compared to a lot of the other M2 raids. However, his 5% trigger is, I think, 80% or 90% of max HP, or is it current health, plain damage. Which means that you're pretty much, no matter what HP you're on, you're probably gonna be like on the rate HP, some of them less than 300 HP, quite close in most cases. In that sense, that's why you must have a healer or you're on standby to be able to heal them. On my grade, the one that I just did, because it's full auto, you do not need to heal them. But if you're doing manual, you should take note that this kind of thing will happen. I don't recommend like crazy skill nukers like Lady Caterpillar and Viva, who only just does this and isn't really like contributing to the whole team setup basically. So if it's very selfish, skill burster, I wouldn't recommend them for such a raid, for solo. Unless you're like overpowered, basically you can burst down more than before the boss takes you down. Yes. Okay. I did try Dienta, but Dienta only really works if you find Kango setup. Because she is really good at consistently getting her dodge off, which will just help you gain charge bar essentially. Sociate, yeah, Sociate is also usable. I think she's really good. She does have delay, she does have like the special attack damage, which is not the worst, but it doesn't reduce the plain damage. And you also have a lot of debuff and a lot of healing, so to be fair, if you want Sociate can technically be a placeholder for Lily. But the problem with Sociate is that it's double attack ability boost. So to be fair, you really need to give yourself really a lot of multi-attack support to make sure that you can OE often to get your Nagi right, to then get a lot of perchance basically to get more OGs out, so that you want to be basically running OG teams at that point basically, and full M2 grade. And for full M2 grade solo, there is actually another grade which I usually use for fighting Shiva for full auto. It's basically something like this. It's pretty like, how to say, it's just full auto, like nobody's business. Basically, instead of using Justice, you just change to Leviathan and just plop like 2 to 3 what do you call it, Yoba hubs, and you're set. But basically this guide doesn't really focus on that part because I'm expecting you guys to still be M1, M1.5, not full M2 integration, though I do have kind of an M2 integration, so does it defeat the purpose? Not really, because I'm also expecting you to be still farming M2 while trying to do solo. So basically, if you can do it to this point, you got to this point, you can actually do the M2 solo already, basically. Don't need to be afraid. I don't think characters places as much importance in Shiva, personally speaking. As long as you can burst down the last 5%, usually the case, you will be fine. You won't like cope or anything. Shiva isn't the most difficult of the M2s. He's relatively pushover, just tanky. I think most of the boss battles when I was using this grades are like 15 minutes, 16 minutes, just on the virtue of I do not have an opus, and so the damage will be a bit lackluster, but this is all on survivability, and that's how I want to build it. Now, as for like the same as the previous Grimnir grade for summons, is this setup basically. Nobio still as the main, but I put in Cedin because, you know, water loves to reset stuff, and if if you ever find the need you need to reset, you can just use that for resetting. This is very usable for manual. It's more usable for manual than full auto, but I just put this here as another variable that you can put here, so that it actually helps to hold down the fort as a newcomer. Obviously, do I expect newcomers to be having a Qilin plus 99 or the Qilin with 4 stars and 3 stars? Okay, basically not really, but if you have Qilin, if you have grinded Qilin, and you haven't do this solo battle yet, you can just do it, and then manual wise, if you ever need it, Qilin is there. Really good summon, and it's probably better than whatever summon I put there before in my Grimnir. I think I put Sandalphon for like healing, but I'm using most of the time it's a hybrid setup basically. So let me see, what did I put here? Hybrid setup, yeah. Leviathan X Lucy. Obviously this was the recording was done about a few days ago for this one. So I'm actually trying to jot a bit of my memories. For sub-members, you can just put members which you feel comfortable putting in the back, that you think that after like 5% you might be able to contribute a lot, basically, burst damage or stuff. Over here, if not, just put sub-aura stuff, like basically, if you want you can put her. She usually helps you negate the priority for seraphic weapon, but I put it because I think this is a main skill. It's a main ally skill, not a sub-ally skill, if I'm not wrong anyway. They need to be in the main ally to have the amplified damage work properly. And then for this one, I just put Aquas because I'm pretty sure people who followed my old guides probably have Aquas, and Aquas is not bad in terms of they do healing, they do buffing. They are very manual in my opinion because their dispel is very slow compared to Tanjiro and stuff like that. And they use charm which rarely lands. So all in all, yeah, if you want the OG setup, you want multi-attack, yeah, here we go. If you do not have a Kangdo, if you want to use a Berserker, this setup will also work with Berserker. So she is better in the main ally slot if you have a Berserker or whatever, because she does boost multi-attack rate. I think it's 15%, which is still boosting. Okay, not gonna look down on anything. Okay. Now for Warlock, I chose Warlock because like Water doesn't really have good classes in terms of their weapons. If you don't have like paid stuff, you're not going to get a lot of like easy accessible classes to work with these weapons and stuff like that. So I also wanted to find good main hands to help out, but the main hands I have, mostly the dagger was the best, but I chose the more defensive option, so yeah. However, one thing I have to note here, the skills that I'm using, I think, other than one Magicka, which is from Mana Diver, Secret Triad, I actually don't remember where Secret Triad came from. I might have gotten it from Ultimate Mastery. That's not Ultimate. Is it Ultimate Mastery? I actually don't remember where Secret Triad came from, which is a problem. But I know from the other one, it's a relic, it's not relic, it's Mana Diver. The raw Magicka is from Mana Diver. For that though, however, I feel that it's okay to just forgo raw Magicka and use something else like Resounding Chant, Dark Haze, they're fine. Dark Haze will only lose effect once you get mini stack up, or if you have attack down stackable on the boss maxed out, then it loses this function basically. But if not, you can go with Resounding Chant. Problem is it's a 12 turn cooldown, so I don't really recommend this. You are better off going for a more damaging skills if you can. For example, like Twin Coil. Likely is the best one because of how the class work basically, because it minus 1 or 2 turns by itself in its support skill. Yeah, 1 turn cuts of skill damage. So yes. Okay, Secret Triad is for Mana Diver. So actually the stuff that I use here is all Mana Diver based skills. Should you have Mana Diver, then use Mana Diver, but I'm using this Warlock. I shouldn't be using these skills, but it didn't feel like it changes a lot Secret Triad can be changed with Chaser because it does the same thing. Wild Magica, you can change it with the damaging skills. This one, what is it called? Twincoin. Pretty much. It should be the same in essence anyway. You don't get that much more damage when you do Wild Magica without Mana Diver. You're just doing double the autos, which autos, unless Pray Tell you have like 2 of this, isn't gonna be the biggest difference. It will have a difference, but it's not significant enough that I feel that you're gonna need to scramble for it, right? Okay, for Sub Auras, we have you can just put it as all series of the moon and the Justice. They are not hard to farm. I don't think at this point in time with so much QOL for Arcarium, you should be able to get this quite easily, even with just the what do you call it? The expedition. Yeah. And with that said, I think I will go on to the battle. So if you do enjoy this content, press the like button and obviously press the subscribe button so that whenever I upload or post a video or stream, you'll be notified. And then also press the notification bell down below so that whenever I stream or upload a video, you'll also be notified. For anything you want to comment on, please do comment down below. If let's say that you find this not as interesting or not as helpful, because I don't think Shiva is that hard, you can just tell me down below as well. Then probably I will see how to do the next M2 guide better, I guess, in a sense. If you especially feel that there are certain stuff that I missed up, please do list it down below. M2 guide isn't gonna be like crazy specific.
暗く深淵へと早々する。
頑張りましょう。伊達に見越してないですよ。
時には辛抱も仕切り直しといこうかの。
お正月を邪魔しちゃダメなの。虹の矢よ。虹の矢よ。失礼します。失礼します。虹の弓。
見切ってみ。
七色の夢を佳境せよ。
ワンケツ一戦。天をも焦がせし豪華、その身に受けよ。
ビリーも虹の矢よ。
年貢の納め時じゃな。怪人に塵も残さん。
虹の弓よ、力を貸して。七色の夢を佳境せよ。
완決一戦陣。塵も怪人に着せ。
ビリーは今年も戦略なの。虹の矢よ。フローズンイヤリング。ほらほら。
神罰権限。来たれ。断罪の雷よ。
明けましておめでとうございます。お正月を邪魔しちゃダメなの。
見切ってみ。
ほら。
塵も残さん。切るとしよう。
七色の夢を佳境せよ。
완決一戦陣。滅ぶがいい。塵も怪人に着せ。
団長さん手に見越してないですよ。
時には辛抱も仕切り直しといこうかの。
虹の矢よ。虹の矢よ。失礼します。失礼します。
無双レジン。
フローズンイヤリング。やっ。
あぶってって天をも焦がせし豪華。その身に受けよ。
ビリーと一緒に頑張りましょう。ほらやっ。
완決一戦陣。怪人に塵も残さん。
虹の弓よ、力を貸して。七色の夢を佳境せよ。
怪人に着せ。
ビリーは今年も戦略なの。お正月を邪魔しちゃダメなの。虹の矢よ。
見切ってみ。
フローズンイヤリング。ほら。
万象ことごとくを滅するのみ。切るとしよう。완決一戦陣。怪人に着せ。
真っ黒な感情が見えます。七色の夢を佳境せよ。
万象ことごとくを滅するのみ。切る。
虹の矢よ。
완決一戦陣。塵も残さん。
伊達に見越してないですよ。
時には辛抱も仕切り直しといこうかの。
虹の矢よ。虹の矢よ。失礼します。
なかなかの珍将ことごとくを滅するのみ。
虹の弓よ、力を貸し、お正月を邪魔しちゃダメなの。
見切ってみ、無双レジン。
フローズンイヤリング。七色の夢を佳境せよ。
満血一戦陣。塵も怪人に着せ。
リリーと一緒に頑張りましょう。
新たな世界の礎となるがいい。
虹の矢よ。
同滅の光にて無へと帰参。
明けましておめでとうございます。はい、ほらほら。
年貢の納め時じゃな。
七色の夢を佳境せよ。
満血一戦陣。
ビリーは虹の矢よ。フローズンイヤリング。ほらほら。
真意権限。いかな力とて無力と知れ。
お正月を邪魔しちゃダメなの。
見切ってみ。
ほら。虹の弓よ、力を貸して。伊達に見越してないですよ。
時には辛抱もか仕切り直しといこうかの。
虹の矢よ。虹の矢よ。失礼します。失礼します。七色の夢を佳境せよ。
満血一戦陣。甘いわ。己が無力を知るがよい。
ビリーは虹の矢よ。フローズンイヤリング。ほら。
甘いわ。年貢の納め時じゃな。
ほら。
切るとしよう。
ビリーと一緒に頑張りましょう。
無双レジン。満血一戦陣。来たれ。エコーの始まりたる究極の豪華よ。
団長さん、決めちゃってください。お正月を邪魔しちゃダメなの。
見切ってみ。
フローズンイヤリング。七色の夢を佳境せよ。虹の矢よ。ほら。
同滅の光にて無へと帰参。 知るとしよう。ほら、満喫一戦陣。朝べき前じゃ。出場。我が消えるのまた定め。
リスちゃん褒めてくれるかな。